The subject of narcissism is certainly trending in these times. Statistics say that more narcissists are male than female, and the Bible describes a covert narcissist as a wolf in sheep's clothing. But what about the female covert narcissist? What do they look like, and how do you navigate relationships with them? In this video, I'm going to talk about the traits of a female covert narcissist and 3 things you can do to navigate the relationship if you find yourself in one. Now first, before we get into it, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Shaneen Megji. I'm a transition coach. Welcome to my channel on Toxicity is Not Your Destiny. My mission is to help people navigate toxic relationships in their lives from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So if you'd like to receive regular content from me on this subject, take a moment right now, click that subscribe button, click that bell, because every week I'm going to be bringing you a new video to empower you in navigating toxic relationships. So without further ado, let's dive into the subject. Narcissism consists of the ugliest personality traits I think you will ever find on the face of this planet. Narcissism looks ugly in a man and equally as ugly in a woman. Although you're dealing with the same traits in both genders, they can manifest a little differently in women compared to men. To start, a covert narcissist is the same as a regular narcissist. The only difference is a covert narcissist conceals their narcissistic traits. And the male and female narcissists also have the same following traits. They are both grandiose. They have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. They have a high sense of entitlement. They require constant, excessive admiration. They expect to be recognized as superior even without achievements or talents that warrant it. They exaggerate their achievements and talents, whatever ones they have. They are preoccupied with fantasies about success and power, brilliance, beauty, or having the perfect mate. They believe they are superior and can only associate with other special, superior people. They tend to monopolize conversations, or they belittle or they look down on people that they perceive to be inferior to them. They are exploitative in their relationships. They have unreasonable expectations of others, and they expect unquestioning compliance with their expectations. They have an inability and unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. They are envious of others and believe others are envious of them. They behave in an arrogant or haughty manner. They can come across as conceited and pretentious. And female covert narcissists are the same as male covert narcissists, but they are an entirely different flavor of a narcissist because of their femininity. So a female narcissist wields her strength through her feminine traits such as her beauty, charm, emotions, and sexuality in order to exert control. And these traits can be quite disarming to a man. A male narcissist may use roughness, harshness, aggression, and physical strength to exert control, while a female narcissist may use her softness, her emotions, beauty, and sexuality to exert her control. And Delilah in the Bible is a perfect example of a female narcissist and possibly a psychopath. One of her ways of manipulating Samson was by crying for 7 days until she got her way. And she also manipulated him through nagging, through repeating the same point over and over and over until she wore Samson out. Judges 16:16 says, "With such nagging she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it." And that is another way a female narcissist will seek to manipulate other people. Proverbs 25:24 says, "Better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife." Female narcissists can present as being charming, pleasant, and endearing to people in public. They're likable, they can have many friends, they can build rapport very easily because they know how to mirror people well, they know how to compliment or flatter people, they have a man-pleasing spirit attached to them, and so they are seeking to be liked and admired and well thought of. This feeds their esteem. They have a need for people to think favorably of them, and they find it difficult if someone doesn't like them. It really bothers them. It can cause them to ruminate a lot or to be unsettled. A covert female narcissist may act the same way, but she may not be as extroverted or as out there as a regular female narcissist. She may be more quieter and more reserved. And while outwardly she may flatter, compliment, and build rapport with people, she may also seek validation through being emotionally needy and dependent on the people that are closest to her in a stifling and oppressive way. A female narcissist is emotionally fragile. She has a need to be emotionally propped up all the time. Female narcissists are also very image conscious. They will expend their energy mostly on image management instead of doing the deeper work to improve their character or eradicate their sinful attitudes. They spend the bulk of their energy on their appearance and managing how they are perceived by other people. Female covert narcissists are superficial, and so are their relationships. They are not interested in entering your emotional world with you, to be present with you, to know how you're experiencing things and what is going on inside your heart. Those subjects are not of interest to them. They're more interested in exterior related subjects that are relevant to them. Female narcissists thrive on conflict and drama. They will create conflict where there is no conflict, and they create stress. They get bored easily. They have a hard time being still or being alone with their thoughts. Female narcissists have a need to be the center of attention. They will turn the conversation to themselves or monopolize the conversation or monopolize people's time, energy, and resources. They're jealous when people in their lives are closer to other people than to them. Female narcissists will seek to isolate their nearest and their dearest from their other close relationships in order to be at the center of the lives of their nearest and dearest. These types of women are opportunistic and exploitative. Relationships with them serve a use or a function in some way. Friends are valued based on their usefulness. Female narcissists are not loyal. They can drop you at any point. It's a one-way relationship. And a dynamic that can happen in your interactions with them is that they can cause you to feel that you have a stronger and deeper connection with them than you actually have, because they are so pleasant and charming and friendly, and they have a way of making you feel good about yourself. Because in your mind, that experience with them causes you to bond with them. But the problem is they don't bond with you. They don't form an attachment. And like I mentioned, they attach only superficially to people. When covert female narcissists are alone with people that they are comfortable with, they are prone to turning into a Jekyll and a Hyde, just like male covert narcissists. While they are not so charming, pleasant, kind, and endearing with you as they are with others in the public, behind closed doors with you, they are moody, grumpy, irritated, frustrated, insecure, negative, putting you down, turning into a viper, and lashing out venomous words at you. They can turn into a snake and spew out such poison on you that you are walking on eggshells around them, hoping not to do anything to set them off. And if you are experiencing that in your relationship, chances are you are with a woman who is also walking in the spirit of witchcraft and carries a spirit of control and intimidation like Jezebel, who caused Elijah to become terrified, depressed, and hopeless, and to hide in a cave. I mean, this was a prophet of God who called down fire from heaven, the man who outran the chariots and the horses, so this was not a joke. When you start to feel hopeless and depressed like this around a controlling, intimidating woman, just know that you are not dealing with flesh and blood here. You are dealing with demonic spirits. According to Ephesians 6:12, you are in a spiritual battle. This is not a fight against a person. You are actually in a spiritual war zone, and you need to take spiritual measures to combat it. A female covert narcissist uses her sensuality to lure a man astray like a target. And the book of Proverbs uses colorful language to warn about this. Proverbs 6:25 says, "Do not lose yourself in desire for her beauty, or let her win you over with her painted eyes." Proverbs 7:10-11 says, "I saw her. A woman came out to meet him. She was dressed for temptation and devious with her affections. Here's what I know about her. She is loud and obnoxious, a rebel against what is proper and decent. She is always on the move, anxious to get out of the house and down the street." And then the verses go on to say in verse 21, "She enticed him with seductive words, seduced him with her smooth talk. Right away he followed her home. He followed her like a bull being led to the slaughter, like a fool caught in a trap. That is, until an arrow punctures his liver, like a bird flying straight into a net. He had no clue his life was at stake and everything was about to change. Female narcissist is a lot like a venomous snake that is wearing the attire of a beautiful, charming woman, and you don't know that you are playing with fire when you interact with her. I think this is why it's harder to detect a female covert narcissist than a male covert narcissist. A beautiful woman who uses her softness, gentleness, emotional side to control and manipulate is harder to spot because it creates such a huge cognitive dissonance between the outward beauty and charm contrasted to the snake on the inside. You want to believe that somebody who is beautiful on the outside, who sounds and appears pious and wonderful and virtuous, is also as equally beautiful on the inside. Now, it's usually when you're going through a hard time that your eyes are opened to the fact that you are in a relationship with a covert female narcissist, because when you're going through a hard time, they are missing in action. If the female narcissist notices that you have needs, they disappear. They choose not to be around you, and they don't want to be around you. They're only interested in being around you when you are strong, when you are fun and enjoyable, and you have something valuable to give them. But when it's you that is in a needing space and you don't have anything to give, they're not there. They're no longer interested, and they leave you alone to deal with your stuff. They don't come near to support you or to check in. They leave you on your own, and this can feel a lot like abandonment. And they do this because relationships for them are based on how they are meeting their needs. It's not about you. You don't have a say, and they don't factor you into their decision of disappearing or how it might affect you or your needs. It's always about their needs. And if you try to point out their wrongdoing and the pain that they are causing you, they will not feel empathy for your pain. Rather, they will feel offended and betrayed that you pointed out that they did something wrong. They don't have an interest or a desire to go deep or look inside themselves. If you find there is something wrong with them, they tend to turn it around and make it to be an issue about you. So how do you deal with such people? How do you navigate these types of relationships? If you suspect this person might be a covert narcissist, do a little test to see how this person values their relationship with you. So the first thing you could do is try to give them feedback about how you feel about the relationship, and let this be a test to gauge their narcissism. Mention some of the patterns you find. And if they are sensitive and they get their back up and they're not open and they find things to excuse what is going on, or maybe they use it as a launching pad to voice their grievances towards you, or they gaslight you by saying things like, oh, you're just a demanding person, you're asking a lot, you're too sensitive. Well, if those things happen, this may not be a relationship you want to stick in your innermost intimate circle of friends or relationships or keep at all. If this is a pattern of response with the person you're with, this definitely is not a recipe for a healthy friendship. If their instinct is to be emotionally fragile because you brought something up and they feel targeted or feel like you are the unreasonable one calling them out, or that you have unreasonable expectations of them, or they end up playing the victim, all this is a form of deflection. And if you have someone like that, it is not conducive to a trusting, safe relationship. And if the thought of giving them feedback causes you to feel sick in the pit of your stomach, and you can already feel in your body that this is not going to go well, that's a telling sign that you've already been conditioned through their manipulation without even realizing it, because you feel like you cannot say anything to them. You already feel that things will get worse for saying something as opposed to just staying quiet. And if that is the case, then I would suggest you put as much space as possible as you can with this person, because it's not a life-giving friendship at all. Real friendships are mutual. There's reciprocity, there's an open dialogue and a seeking to understand each other and a desire not to hurt each other. But when you don't have that, and it's mostly you giving and the other person taking, that is not a relationship. The second thing you can do, stop initiating in the relationship and see what happens. If the person doesn't initiate back, then you know there is no reciprocity and mutuality in the relationship. It has always been a one-way relationship. And now the third thing you can do is manage your expectations. Stop expecting them to think the way you do. Stop expecting them to feel empathy, to put themselves in your shoes and respond the way you want. Stop expecting them to get the hint when you try to subtly give them cues to act in a certain way or stop acting in a certain way. If you are in a relationship with a female covert narcissist, then you are with someone who has a high need for control. They don't respond to subtle cues. Instead, they trample over cues and other people's boundaries to get what they want. And they will seek to control you through their guilt trips, through their emotional fragility and neediness. Another way they do it is causing you to feel like you don't measure up to their expectations of you. You're not a good enough friend, you're not a good enough husband, you're not doing this or doing that. These women by nature have a critical, fault-finding spirit. They're mostly negative about people and relationships and circumstances in their lives. You rarely hear gratitude coming out of their mouths. They gripe and complain and often feel sorry for themselves. So it's important to stop trying to control them and get them to change, but accept them for who they are and instead focus on managing your expectations of them if you continue to have interactions with them. Number 4, the fourth step you can do, in light of your relationship with this person and the negative things you've experienced, take some time to think about the things that have been hurtful and unpleasant in this relationship. And then think about the relationships in your life where you did feel valued, where you did feel cared for and supported, the relationships that naturally bring a joy and smile to your heart. Now, I want you to write a list of what are those qualities that are important for you in an intimate friendship, and what are the qualities that would be a deal breaker for you. Now, once you create that list, prayerfully take some time to realign your relationships according to that list, and with the guidance and wisdom of the Holy Spirit. I would encourage you to invest in the people that have the qualities of a good friend according to your list, and put distance between yourself and the people who do not have those qualities, even if they are familiar people in your life that have been part of your inner intimate circle all this time. My advice to you is to not keep toxic people in your life for nostalgia's sake, or because you've already invested so many years of your life with those people. It's really, really important to be recalibrating relationships as you are moving forward and growing yourself and growing in God. And expect that it is normal to change relationships every few years. So move the toxic people either out of your life or into an acquaintance circle, and use your energy to cultivate and nurture new and healthy relationships. Spend 80% of your energy on those people who are worthy of your time and attention, and give 20% or less to the people who are toxic, or cut them out of your life. Or if they have to be in your life, only give them 20% or less of your time and energy. So I hope this video was helpful in giving you insight into female covert narcissists and tips on how to navigate if you are in a relationship with one. If you're thinking of leaving or have left a toxic environment and you're in a season of transition, check out a free training I have put together. It is all about 3 key ways to navigate a transition. These are things that brought a massive breakthrough in my life when I was going through a difficult transition. I have included the link in the description box below. If you would like to see more content from me and have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and click that bell so that you can get the alerts, because every single week I will be posting a new video to empower you in navigating toxic relationships in your life. And if you have suggestions of other topics you would like me to cover, please feel free to drop those ideas in the comment section. Thank you so much. This brings me to the end of my video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.